inform you that we, in collaboration with the IQAC, are hosting a national webinar on developing of writing skills. Before we begin the session, may I request our principal, Reverend Father Michael Santamaya, to welcome the gathering.
Sir, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Father. Nice meeting you.
Yes. Good afternoon, everybody.
Happy birthday, Mantama.
We are happy to invite you and also welcome all of you to this national webinar conducted by English department, headed by Professor Lord Swami and Naina Madam. And also, I would like to welcome Dr. Professor Joseph Doreraj, Dean of School of English and Foreign Languages, Gandhigram Rural University, Tamil Nadu. A friend of ours, at the same time, a very good orator as well as a scholar in this field of English. Today, we are having the theme, developing writing skills in English field. So on behalf of the management, on behalf of all the staff, I welcome one and all. And also, I thank the English department for organizing this webinar for you all. Wish all the best. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Father.
Thank you, Father. Welcome to you as well. Before we begin, may I request Professor Lord Swami to introduce our resource person of the day, Professor Doreraj. Over to you, sir.
A warm welcome to all the participants of the national webinar organized by Milagros College, Mangalore. It's my great pleasure to introduce the resource person of this webinar, Professor Joseph Doreraj. I'm very proud to say that we were classmates during our undergraduate days. And I was really privileged to carry my PhD research program under his guidance. Professor Joseph Doreraj is the Dean of the School of English and Foreign Languages at Gandhigram Rural Institute, deemed to be University, Gandhigram, Tamil Nadu. During 2013-14, he was the Vice Chancellor in charge of Gandhigram Rural University. He was a Fulbrighter in 2014 and visited educational institutions in Washington, D.C., New York, and Miami, and an Erasmus Mundus visiting scholar at Louvain, Belgium in 2015. He conducted a month-long teacher training program in Kandy, Sri Lanka, in August 2007. He has also visited Gregorian University, Rome, Radboud University, Netherlands, and Center Savo, Paris. Professor Doreraj has published 55 articles and authored 4 books. Myth and Literature, 2006. Interventions, Essays in Philosophy and Literary Theory, 2011. Philosophical Hermeneutics, 2015. And FAQs on research, literature, and language, 2019. He has edited 2 books, Critical Essays on Indian English Poets 2015 and Essays on Gandhi 2019. He was a visiting professor of philosophy, Satya Nilayam, affiliated to Madras University 2009 to 12, and a visiting professor of English at Osmania University 2016. He is the founder editor of Gandhigram Literary Review. He is an assessor for NEC since 2010 and was involved in the preparation of NAC's revised methodology. He has assessed 31 colleges and universities all over the country, 13 as the chairperson of NAC peer teams. I wish Professor Joseph Doreraj well and the participants for a fruitful interaction and listening. And I am happy to inform the participants we have around 1,500 registered, both from India and many of the countries abroad. Wish you well. Let's enjoy the session on developing writing skills. Thank you and welcome. Over to Professor Joseph Doreraj.
Thank you, Professor. Mr. Denzil, can I start?
Yes, sir, you can, sir. You can start presenting.
Mr. Denzil, I would like to share my screen.
Yes, sir. Please do as we discussed earlier.
Okay. Have you got it?
Not yet, sir. The screen is not yet shared.
Do you get the screen now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, we can.
Okay, so I can start.
Yes, sir. You can, sir.
Okay. Reverend Father Michael Santamaya, Principal Milagros College, Mangalore. My dear friend Professor A. Lurdasamy, Adjunct Faculty, the Head of the Department of English at St. Milagros, Mangalore, Professor Nayana, and the IQAC Coordinator of Milagros College, Mangalore, Professor Denzil. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to all of you. At the outset, I would like to thank both the IQAC and the Department of English at St. Milagros for inviting me to do this workshop on writing skills. Anyway, before I start, two things. Number one, this is not going to be a lecture. Instead, it is a workshop. And what do I mean by a workshop? You're not going to just listen to me. I would request you to take a sheet of paper and a pen, and we will have some hands-on training. We will have some hands-on exercises. So therefore, it is not a seminar. It is not a webinar. I do not have the apt word. So I thought I will coin this a web shop, like a workshop. It is going to be a web shop. Okay, so dear friends, I am making it very clear. You're not going to just listen to me. So please take a scribbling pad or a few sheets of paper and a pen, and you will be working it out. So this is going to be a workshop. Okay, so this is the first point that I wanted to clarify. The second point that I wanted to Professor Denzel, can you do it from your end? You can unmute everyone. Okay, fine. So dear participants, please unmute your mic, and in case towards the end you want to talk, maybe we will have some. Okay, so please mute the mic, maybe towards the end in case you have some questions. This is a workshop, so there may not be any questions, but in case there are some very pressing questions, maybe you can unmute your mic and we will have a short discussion. Okay, dear friends, I made myself very clear that this is going to be a hands-on experience. Okay, so let me start. Now what you have to do is, now the screen is divided into two parts. The lower half is blank. Okay, so we will come to the blank space a little later. Now here is a paragraph. I'll be presenting an essay, and this essay has been divided into 8 slides. Okay, so what is the task that is given to you? The task is, starting with the title of this essay, almost in every sentence there are errors, writing errors. So what I ask you to do is, please go through the title and please go through the essay. And the essay, as I said earlier, is presented in the form of 8 slides. So go through the paragraph very carefully, spot the errors, identify the errors. That is task number 1. And once you have spotted the errors, once you have identified the errors, please correct them. Okay, so have I made it very clear? So this is an essay and there are some errors. There are some linguistic errors, there are some grammar errors, there are some writing errors. So what you have to do is, number 1, you have to identify the errors, and number 2, once you have identified the errors, please correct them. Correct only the errors. Okay, fine. Now this is the first slide. So the title is Launching of a New Program in Mangalore College. So that is the title of this essay, and the first paragraph of the essay has been given to you. Okay, I give you 2 minutes. Totally we have only 1 hour, so I give you 2 minutes. So please go through the title and please go through the first paragraph and spot the errors, identify the errors, and don't stop with that, correct the errors. Please take 1 more minute. I am sure you are almost through. Please take another 30 seconds. Okay, please get back. Please look at the screen. Okay, now you have the corrected version. Okay, first let us look at the title. Launching of a New Program in Mangalore College. Now there are 2 issues with the title. Okay, look at the first half of the slide, the top half of the slide, and please look at the bottom half of the slide. The bottom half is the revised version, is the corrected version. Now, there are two issues with the title. Number one, I'm sure almost all of you have identified the period after Mangalore College. Okay, all of us know that there is no period, there is no full stop after the title. So the title is launching of a new program in Mangalore College, and there is no period, there is no full stop. Why? Because this is not a sentence, this is only a title. So no period, no full stop after the title. Okay, so this is issue number one. Issue number two, now a lot of people, not only from the domain of English, but in other subjects as well, and not only students, but also teachers, they have problem in capitalization. I repeat, they have an issue with capitalization. Which words are to be capitalized? Okay, so normally what do? People do two things. The smart ones, what they do is, whether you're writing a paper in English or economics or geography or chemistry, what they do is they print the capitals all in capital letters. They use the uppercase for the capital letters. So everything is printed in the uppercase or capital letters. Now, this is not the solution. Okay. Another group of people, what they do is, for every word in the title, if there are 3 words in the title, or there are 5 words in the title, or there are 10 words in the title, for every word in the title, they use the uppercase or the capital letter. Okay, so these are the two major issues. The entire title written in the uppercase, issue number one. Issue number two, all words in the title to start with, to begin with, the uppercase or the capital letter. Now, dear friends, the rule is very simple. I want you to understand the rule. And once you know the rule, the grammatical rule or the writing rule, you will not have any difficulty hereafter. I assure you and I promise you. So what is the rule? The rule is a very simple one. Now, in English, I'm sure during your high school days, you must have studied the parts of speech. In English, all words are divided into 2 groups or 2 categories. We have strong words and we have weak words. I repeat, we have strong words and weak words. Now, what are the strong words? We have verbs, we have adverbs, we have adjectives, and we have nouns, and that includes pronouns also. So what are the strong words? Verbs, adjectives, adverbs, nouns, which includes pronouns. And what are the weak words? The weak words are articles, prepositions, and conjunctions. I repeat, what are the weak words? The weak words are articles, a, and the prepositions in, on, under, through, across, by, and conjunctions, and but. Okay, so we have divided words, all words in the English lexicon into 2 categories, namely strong words and weak words. Now, the rule is very simple. Please listen to me. For strong words, you start with a capital letter. And for weak words, you do not use the uppercase or you do not use the capital letter. Now, there is only one exception. When the title begins with a weak word, even though it is a weak word, you still use the capital letter. Why? It is a weak word, but still you use the capital letter because the title begins with that particular word. Now let us go back to the title. Launching of a new program in Mangalore College. We have already removed the period. We have already removed the full stop. Now the word launching, off. Okay, let us remove the word off. It is a preposition. It is a weak word. Let us remove it because it is not required. Now the next word, a, what is it? It is an article. It is a weak word. So therefore, do not capitalize it. Do not use the uppercase. New is a strong word. Therefore, capital N. Program, a noun. It is a strong word. Therefore, capital P. In is a preposition. It is a weak word. Therefore, we have used the lowercase I. Mangalore College. Both are strong words. So therefore, capital M, capital C. Okay, so dear friends, I make the rule very clear. Strong words, you use the capital, and weak words, do not use the capital. Now let us go to the first paragraph. The first sentence reads like this. Mangalore College is one of the best college in Karnataka. What is the mistake? I am sure most of you have identified this. Whenever you use the expression one of the noun has to be in the plural form. One of the boys, one of the colleges, one of the universities, one of the doctors, one of the hospitals, one of the nurses, one of the states. So the first sentence reads like this. Mangalore College is one of the best colleges, plural, in Karnataka. Now go to the second sentence. Second sentence, if you go to the original, there is a problem. What is the problem? You have the expression both. You also have the expression as well as. Now the rule is very clear. You have two choices. So what are the two choices? If you use both, B-O-T-H, you should not use as well as. Both convey the same meaning. So therefore, both as well as do not go together. Okay, so how do you rewrite the second sentence? It is meant for both boys and girls. This is one version. The other version is, it is meant for boys as well as girls. So what is the rule here? Both as well as, they do not go together. Why is it that they do not go together? Because they convey the same meaning. So therefore you can write it in two different ways. It is meant for both boys and girls, or it is meant for boys as well as girls. We'll go to the third sentence. This year, the college is offering a very unique program in computer technology and management. Okay, most of us are very fond of using expressions like very unique, very special, very distinct. Now look at the word unique. Unique itself is something very special. So therefore, there is no need to qualify unique with a qualifier, very. Okay, so don't use this word, very unique. Highly outstanding. No, outstanding itself includes highly. Okay, so this year the college is offering a unique program in computer technology and management. If you use very, then it is a mistake. Okay, then we go to the next sentence. This program comprises of 4 semesters, and there will be 16 theory papers such as advanced electronics, computer applications, and management. Now there are 2 errors. I have seen this in many PhD theses, not only theses submitted to the Department of English, but PhD theses submitted, let us say, to the Department of Economics or Sociology or even Sciences, because sometimes they bring it to me for correction. Okay, comprises of, this thesis comprises of four chapters. This thesis comprises of 6 chapters. When you use the word comprise, there is no preposition of. So which means you have 2 options. Either you say this program comprises 4 semesters, or you are very fond of the preposition of and you want to use the word of, then I would suggest that you go for this version. This program consists of. Okay, so I want to make it clear. You have 2 options. This program comprises 4 semesters, or this program consists of 4 semesters. Now we go to the last part of the sentence, etc. Now, etc. has to be cancelled. Why? Okay, the rule is very simple. If you use such as, then you should not use etc. because it means the same. So how do you rewrite the sentence? This program consists of 4 semesters, and there will be 16 theory papers such as advanced electronics, computer application for industries, and personnel management, full stop, period. There is no etc. If you want to use etc., then you have to remove the word such as. Okay, so dear friends, I am sure the first slide is clear. We are running short of time. We will go to the second slide. Okay, please look at the first part of the slide. Okay, so we have 2 paragraphs. Please go through these 2 paragraphs very carefully. There are some errors, there are some language errors, there are some grammar errors, there are some writing errors. So you have a 2-fold task. Number 1, identify the errors. And after you have identified the errors, please present the corrected version. I'll give you 1.5 minutes. Please hurry up. I'm sure you have already identified the errors. So the next step is please remove those errors. Okay, dear friends, let us go to the first paragraph. The first paragraph, the first sentence, we have two problems. We have two issues. Okay, so what is that? And this is a common error. So the original version reads like this. It is a 80 credits program. 80. It starts with a vowel sound. I'm sure in our high school days, our teachers told us that whenever any word starts with a vowel sound, you have to use an, A-N, and not A. So it is an 80 credits program. Okay, so that is the first mistake. Now look at this. 80 credits or 80 credits. Okay, this MA program, it is a 4-semester program. This UG program, it is a 6-semester UG program. Semesters or semester. Okay, so that is a problem a lot of people face. Okay, so now the rule is very clear. It is an 80 credit program. Okay, so why do you use the singular? Because we are talking of the program. Or we can reframe it. This program consists of 80 credits. There you have to use the plural. Since we are talking of the program, it has to be, it is an 80 credit program. You can say this program in MA English and Literature, MA English Language and Literature is a 4-semester program. This UG program, it is an 8-semester program. So it is not credits, it is credit in the singular. Please go to the second sentence. Students who apply to this program should have good oral and written skills. Now there is no error. Okay, so this sentence is perfectly all right. So don't do anything to this sentence because there are no errors. Let us go to the third sentence in the first paragraph. There are two errors. Students awaiting for their 6th semester results also can apply. Okay, so awaiting, if you are using the verb awaiting, there is no preposition. Or if you want to use the preposition, then not awaiting but waiting. So which means, how do you rewrite? Students are waiting their 6th semester results, or students waiting for their 6th semester results also can apply. Okay, so you have two choices: awaiting with no preposition or waiting for, where you use the preposition. Now there is one more error. A lot of people, now how do we write numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 26, 27, 84, 85. How do we write numbers? Now we have two options. We can use the Roman numerals or we can use the Arabic numerals. Normally we use the Arabic numerals because it is easy. Okay. But if you want to use the Roman numerals, particularly the uppercase, please note, please remember there is no superscript. Now what do I mean by this? 6. Okay, so 6 has been written in the Roman numerals, uppercase, and there is ST. Okay, so where do you use the ST? You use the ST 6 first, okay, when you use the Arabic numerals and not the Roman numerals. Okay, so how do you correct the sentence? Students waiting for their 6th semester results also can apply. Version 1, version 2, students awaiting their 6th semester results also can apply. So we have made two corrections. Awaiting, there is no preposition. If you want to include the preposition, then you drop awaiting Instead, use the verb waiting. Then when you use the Roman numerals uppercase, there is no superscript. Okay, let us go to the second paragraph. While submitting the application, each student should submit a self-addressed envelope with his/her address written on the back of the envelope. Now, in the first paragraph, it has been made very clear that this is a co-educational institution. We are talking of Mangalore College in Karnataka. The college admits boys and girls. So therefore, you have to use not his address, his or her address, and this is called gender sensitive language or inclusive language. Now in the UK or in the US, educational institutions in UK or in the US, if you do not use gender sensitive language, if you do not use inclusive language, your essay, your term paper will be rejected. Even if it is a good paper, it will be rejected. Why? Because you have not used an inclusive language, you have not used a gender sensitive language. In India, we are a little indifferent. Okay, so my request is hereafter, from today, whenever you speak and whenever you write, please go in for gender sensitive language or otherwise called inclusive language. So it is not his address, his or her address, and we do not use the word backside. Backside refers to the body part. So it is back of the envelope. Okay, so dear friends, I am sure this slide is clear. So we have made some interesting corrections. Okay, so at least 3 interesting corrections. The waiting does not take a preposition, and whenever you use the Roman numerals uppercase, there is no superscript, and please go in for a gender sensitive or an inclusive language, not only in your writing but also in your oral communication. So I have completed 2 slides. I need to go a little fast. Please go to the third slide. Okay, once again, please go through the first paragraph. This is the third slide, the 4th paragraph of the essay, and there are some errors. I give you 1.5 minutes, 90 seconds. Please go through this, identify the errors, and after you have identified the errors, please correct them. "30 seconds more. Please hurry up." Okay, dear friends, please take a look at the corrected version printed in blue. Now, please look at the first sentence. If the candidate is selected, he or she has to join the program immediately. I have made 2 corrections. Correction number 1, as we discussed in the earlier slide, we have to go in for a gender sensitive language, also known as inclusive language. So it is not he, bar, she has to join the program immediately. There is no need for the preposition in. So therefore, the first sentence reads like this. If the candidate is selected, which is a conditional clause, subordinate clause, before there is a comma, he or she, gender sensitive language, has to join the program immediately. We have dropped the preposition in. Now please go to the next sentence. All those students whose native is not Mangalore should stay in the college hostel. Okay, many people use this. What is your native? My native is Chennai. My native is Vijayawada. My native is Mangalore. It is not native, it is native place. Okay, so this is Indianism. Okay, so the second sentence reads like this, the corrected version. All those students whose native place, please include place. All those students whose native place is not Mangalore should stay in the college hostel. Okay, so now this is admission time. So heads of departments and teachers will be interviewing students who seek admission in their college and who seek admission in their departments. Okay, so please ask them, what is your native place? Don't ask what is your native. And students, when you answer, Okay, so don't say my native is Mangalore, my native is Udupi, my native is Trichy, my native is Gandhigram. Instead, say my native place. Okay, we'll go to the next sentence. The third sentence, students in the hostel should take care of their luggages. Luggages, there is no S. Okay, I'll give you two more examples. Baggages, there is no S. Furnitures, there is no S. Okay, so this is singular. Okay, so students in the hostel should take care of their luggage. Please cut out the S. Please remove the S. And there are some more examples. Luggage, baggage, furniture. There is no S. And it is not the responsibility of the hostel administration. Please go to the last sentence. There is an important issue to discuss. In case of any theft, neither the hostel clerks nor the warden is responsible. Okay, before we look at grammar, okay, pronunciation. Now there are two things. CLERKS. It is not clerk. Okay, so in many states, many people pronounce it as clerk. It is not clerk, it is clerk. Back vowel, it is clerk. Okay, now go to the sixth word. People say neither. It is not neither, it is neither. I, as in eyes, as in life, as in wife. Okay, as in file. Okay, if you are an American, then you say neither. So it is either, neither, not either, neither. Okay, so that is regarding pronunciation. Now, a lot of people have problems with neither, nor, and either, or expressions. They are not sure whether to use the singular verb or the plural verb. Okay, now let us read the sentence. In case of any theft, neither the hostel clerks nor the warden are responsible or is responsible. Okay, some people say it should be are because clerks is plural. And some people would even argue we have to use are because we are talking of the hostel clerks and we are also talking of the hostel warden. So therefore, it is plural. So therefore, the plural verb. So dear friends, the rule is very, very simple. Okay, all that you have to do is find out which subject is closer to the verb. Here we have two subjects. Subject one, hostel clerks, clerks plural. The second subject, warden, singular. So which subject is closer to the verb? Warden. And warden is singular. So therefore the verb also has to be singular. Warden is responsible. Now what I'll do is I'll change the construction. In case of any theft, neither the warden nor the hostel clerks, what should we use? We have to use are responsible. Why are? Because the subject closer to the verb is plural, clerks. Okay, so hereafter you should not have any problem with neither nor construction or either or construction. The rule is simple and abundantly clear. All that you have to do is find out which subject is closer to the verb. If the subject is singular, please use singular verb. If the subject is plural, please use the plural verb. So we have completed 3 slides. We will go to the 4th slide. So please take a quick look at, I'll give you only 60 seconds, not 90 seconds. Please go through this paragraph quickly. And number 1, identify the errors. And number 2, after you have identified the errors, please revise this paragraph by correcting or removing the errors. I'm sure you're almost through. I'll give you another 20 seconds. Okay, dear friends, here is the corrected version printed in blue. Now, please take a look at the first sentence. There are two issues with the first sentence. Once again, these are common mistakes. These are common errors. Now, look at the first line. This program has been designed with a view to training the students. Okay, so I want you to remember this rule. And for the entire life, for your entire life, you should not forget this rule. Whenever you get this expression with a view to, I repeat, whenever you come across an expression with a view to, please add ing to the verb. With a view to training, with a view to safeguarding, with a view to monitoring, with a view to studying, with a view to cooking. So whenever you come across this expression with a view to, it should be ing, verb plus ing, with a view to training, with a view to cooking, with a view to overseeing, with a view to studying, with a view to teaching. So verb plus ing. Now go to the second part of the first sentence. With a view to training the students in both management and computer sciences. Earlier in the first slide, I talked about both as well. They do not go together because they convey the same idea. So either you use both or as well. You cannot use both. Similarly, both as well, you should not use. So the students in both management and computer application. So there is no need for as well. Okay, so in case you want to use as well, then what you have to do is this program has been designed with a view to training the students in management and computer applications as well. So you remove both. If you remove both, you can use as well. But if you want to use both, then there is no place for as well. One of the two, not both. Please go to the next sentence. There are two mistakes. The program is tough but mediocre. Average students will be helped by the staffs. There is no plural. It is staff. Whether you have 2 staff members or 100 staff members or 400 staff members, it is still staff. Please don't add S. Then very many people use this expression to cope up with. Are you able to cope up with this program? This is a tough program. Are you able to cope up with? There is no UP, there is no up, there is no preposition. Okay, so how does it read? To cope with the program. Cope with means to adjust. Okay, so how does the revised version read? This program is tough, but mediocre students will be helped by the staff. There is no S. To cope with. Okay, so you please remove up to cope with the program. These students should listen to their teachers' advices. Advices, it is advice. Why? Because advice is a non-countable noun. You cannot count it. Okay, if there are 5 bags, I can count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If there are 5 mangoes, I can count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If there are 5 shirts, I can count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But advice I cannot count. It is uncountable. Therefore, advice. And should work very hardly. Hardly has the negative meaning, has the opposite meaning. Hardly, rarely, barely, they all convey negative meaning. They have negative connotation. So it is not hardly hard. Okay, so this is an important slide. Okay, so there are 3 important observations. Number 1, whenever you come across with a view to, don't forget to add ing to the verb. Number 2, staffs. A lot of people use staffs because they think if there are more than 2, if there are more than 5, if there are more than 10, then we have to use the plural. No, there is no plural. Staff itself is plural. Then to cope up with, a lot of Indians use this expression. So please cut out up. Okay. So we will go to the 5th slide. Please look at the first 2 paragraphs. I'll give you only 60 seconds. Identify the errors, and once you have identified the errors, please correct them. Okay, 15 seconds more. Please hurry up. Okay, dear friends, please look at the corrected version. Now you look at the first sentence. There are two common errors. Students who have difficulties in their subjects should approach the concerned teacher, or the head of the department tells his or her student. Okay, in order to clarify this particular issue, please go to the office and meet the concerned clerk. Or the principal says, meet the concerned clerk, meet the concerned professor. No, it is wrong. What is the meaning of concerned teacher? A teacher who has a lot of care and concern for you. Of course, all teachers have care and concern for their students. Absolutely no doubt about it. But the correct expression is, it is not concerned teacher, teacher concern, professor concern, clerk concern, meaning the teacher who deals with this particular subject. When you say clerk concern, the clerk who is dealing with this particular file, that is the meaning. So it is not concerned teacher. Even professors use this expression, concerned clerk, meet the concerned clerk. No, it is not the concerned clerk, the clerk concerned. As I explained a short while ago, the clerk who deals with this particular file. So therefore, clerk concerned, teacher concerned. Okay, then you go to the second part of the first sentence, who will discuss each lesson thoroughly. A lot of people, including teachers, they use this expression, discuss about. In today's class, I am going to discuss about nutrition. In today's class, I am going to discuss about fiscal economics. In today's class, I am going to discuss about romantic poetry. No, discuss does not take a preposition about. So it is discussed. Okay, go to the next sentence. There is an issue with question tag, TAG tag, question tag. Students who work hard will surely get good marks. Okay, so what is the correct question tag? Now, Indians, for all sentences, whatever may be the sentence, whatever may be the tense, okay, so we use isn't it? It is raining, isn't it? The coffee is hot, isn't it? She studies well, isn't it? For everything we use isn't it? No, it is wrong. Okay, so a very simple rule for question tag. Question tag is basically based on the verb. Okay, if the verb is positive, you give the negative version. If the verb is negative, you give the positive version. So what is the key verb here? Will get. Will. So therefore, what is the negative? Will not. Okay, instead of using will not, we use the contracted or the abbreviated form won't pay. Okay, now the major point that I want to make is this. Indians, by and large, whether they are teachers or students or otherwise, we are tempted to use isn't it as the question tag, whatever may be the sentence. Okay, fine. Let us go to the next paragraph. The college has got or has a good library. Now, people have asked me which is correct, has got or has. Now, my answer is very simple. You can use both. But if you ask me, Joseph Dureraj, what would you use? Okay, the college has a good library. Okay, and if you further ask me, why do you prefer has instead of has got, I will tell you, has is simple to use. Plus, according to some grammarians, has got is a slightly informal expression. So therefore, I would use the college has a good library, but I would like to make it clear to you. You can use has got or has. The college has a good library. The college has got a good library. So both are allowed, both are permissible. But the rule of thumb is use a simpler expression rather than a complex expression. Let us go to the next sentence. Books are issued each and every day and 10 days. Returned back. Okay, returned back. What is the problem? It is redundant. Back is already embedded in the word return. So therefore, don't use back. Returned. Return includes back as well. Okay, fine. Now, a lot of people have this habit of using each and every student, each and every department, each and every file, each and every college. No. Okay, so please don't use each and every. Okay, you think it is for the sake of emphasis? No. Okay, so how do you correct it? Books are issued every day and they should be returned within 10 days. Okay, so this particular slide has highlighted two things. Number one, return back, redundant. Later, towards the end of the presentation, I will give you some more examples of redundant expressions. Okay, and I have also touched upon very briefly what is a question tag. Okay, now let us go to the sixth slide. Okay, there is a very short paragraph, so therefore I will give you only 40 seconds. So please go through these three sentences, identify the errors, and once you have identified the errors, please revise them, please correct them.
Sir, the slide is not visible, sir.
Mr. Denzel, is the slide visible? Nayana? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Denzel. Okay, so dear friends, let us take a look at this slide. There are three sentences, and here is the corrected version. Now, I am sure you must have heard people using suppose if. I'm sure whether you live in Assam or Karnataka or Tamil Nadu or Madhya Pradesh, because a lot of people from Jabalpur are attending this program, or in Andhra Pradesh or Telangana, I'm sure you have heard people using suppose if. So what is suppose if? Both mean the same thing. Okay, so please do not use suppose if. You use one of the two. And if you ask me what I would use is, I would go in for a simple expression, not suppose, but if. What if I make a spelling mistake with suppose, single P or single S or double S? Okay, so forget about suppose. Please use a simpler word, if. Okay, but in any case, do not use both, suppose if. But a lot of people use it. It is a mistake. It is a serious mistake. So the first sentence reads like this: if a student does not return back, redundant. If a student does not return the book on or before the due date, gender sensitive language, he or she will be punished. Okay, next sentence about the reference section. The reference section is kept open. No, not open, is kept open even on holidays. Now look at the third sentence. It's a very interesting sentence. Now you think of your school days, or maybe even in your college days, whenever you write a leave letter. Okay, whenever you write a letter to your head of the department or your headmaster or your headmistress or your principal, okay, what do you use? Okay, after stating that you're not feeling well or you have a function at home or you're going for an interview, whatever it is, then the last sentence is, I kindly request you to grant me leave. Okay, I mean, some people say that this is a colonial mentality. I repeat, colonial thinking or colonial mentality. Why do you want to be so subservient? Requested already includes kindly. So why do you say kindly request? No, you say request. Okay, so this is an interesting slide. Two things. Suppose if. Okay, a lot of people in different parts of the country use suppose if. Okay, so please cut out suppose, use only if. And please do not use, whether you're a student or otherwise, please do not use kindly requested. Requested is enough. Okay, you need not kindly request your head of the department or your principal. I'm sure he or she would grant you leave. Okay, please take a look at this slide. Okay, I'll give you only 30 seconds because we are running short of time. Okay, dear friends, here is the corrected version. Now look at the first sentence. Okay, the principal and secretary. Now let us take Milagros College. Father Michael is the principal. Now who is the secretary? Now we have two options. Father Michael Santamaye is the principal and the secretary. So one individual holds both the posts. Now imagine in a particular college, the principal is Mr. John and the secretary is Mrs. Lakshmi. Okay, so what happens? two individuals. Okay, how do we know if there are two individuals? Okay, now look at the corrected version. Look at the use of the article the. The principal, individual one, we are referring to Mr. John, who is the principal, and the secretary, we are referring to Mrs. Lakshmi, who is the secretary of the college. So there are two different individuals. How do we know that there are two different individuals? The principal, the secretary. Now someone is asking me, what if I remove the before secretary? Then what happens is, we are referring to only one individual. So one individual, he or she is the principal as well as the secretary. How do we know that one single individual is holding both the posts, both the portfolios? The second the has been cut out. Okay, so let me make it very clear. The principal and the secretary, two individuals. The principal and secretary, one individual. So accordingly, the verb, singular or plural. The principal and the secretary are keen to meet the staff because we are referring to two different individuals. If one individual holds the post of both the principalship and the secretaryship, we say the principal and secretary is keen to meet the staff. Staff, I have already explained. Please don't add yes. Every month to discuss about a problem. No discussing about, no returning back. This is redundant. Please go to the next sentence. Students who want to meet the principal can do so after their morning classes but before lunch. Now imagine in your college, in your university, in your school, you have classes after lunch. How do you call those classes? You call them afternoon classes. So you have noon, then afternoon. But if you have classes, let us say from 10 to 12 or 10 to 1, why do you want to call it morning classes? If you have the class at 7, if you have the class at 6:30, if you have the class at 7:15, then it is a morning class. But if your classes begin, let us say, only at 9 or 9:30 or 10, they are not morning classes, they are forenoon classes. So remember, noon, forenoon, and afternoon. Okay, so dear friends, this is the last slide. Of course, I have 6 more slides. Okay, so this is the concluding paragraph of the essay. Imagine we are talking about this essay. What is the title of this essay? Launching of a new program in Mangalore College. So this is the concluding paragraph. This is the last paragraph. Please take a look at it. I'll give you 30 seconds.
Sir, I cannot see the video, the files that you have given.
Please excuse me. The coordinator will address your problem. Thank you. Okay, dear friends, this is the corrected version. Now look at the first sentence. It is the duty of the students to tell the principal, not tell to. I will tell to my mummy. This is what children speak. I will tell to my father. No, I will tell my father. I will tell my mother. So you don't tell to the principal. You tell the principal. You tell your friend. You tell your classmate. You tell your head of the department. So please do not add the preposition to. Next sentence, students who are lacking attendance will not be allowed to write their examinations. There are 2 corrections. Now in formal writing, what do we mean by formal writing? When you submit an assignment to your teacher, when you write an exam, when you write a term paper, when you write an article for a journal, all these are formal writings, official writings. So in formal writings, you do not use abbreviations. You do not use short forms. So please don't use exams. When you're sending an email to your friend, when you're sending a message, or when you're sending a WhatsApp message to your friend, you can use the word exam, short form and abbreviation, absolutely no problem. But in formal writing, please do not use contractions and please do not use abbreviations. So examinations in the full form. Okay. Now the next sentence is an important sentence because a lot of people make mistakes. Okay. So one is to get a medical certificate and the other is to repeat the semester. Okay. Now you have 2 options. You have 2 choices. So normally what do people speak or what do people write? One is this and another is that. No, you have only 2. So therefore, one is this and the other, not another. Okay, I repeat, when you have two options, when you have two choices, when you have two alternatives, what should you do? You use one and the other, but a lot of people use another, which is wrong. So you have two options. Okay, if you lack attendance, what are the two options? One is to get a medical certificate so that you get condonation from the office or the principal or the head of the department. The other, not another. The other is to repeat the semester. Okay. Next sentence. The student is allowed to write any paper only thrice. Thrice is an Indian expression. We have once, you have twice, but not thrice, even though a lot of people use. Maybe you can use thrice in your email and WhatsApp and your Facebook scribbling. Okay, but not in official writing. So 3 times. And please go to the last sentence, the concluding sentence of this essay. Work hard and you will definitely do well. After well, what do you find? Okay, you find how many? Are you able to count? Okay, there are 7 dots. Okay, don't think that I am fond of the number 7. Some people use 8, some people use 9, some people use 10, some people use it, some people leave it to your imagination. You can use as many dots as you want. Okay, fine. Now let us be very clear. What are these dots? Question number 1 and question number 2. How many dots should we use? Okay, fine. So what are the 2 questions? What are these dots and how many should we use? 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6? Okay. Now these dots are technically called ellipses. E-L-L-I-P-S-I-S. Ellipses. E-L-L-I-P-S-I-S. Ellipses. Now what is the meaning of ellipsis? Ellipsis means something in the original has been cut out. Something in the original has been left out. So it means in this essay, what is the title of this essay? Launching of a new program in Mangalore College. There are some more sentences and some more paragraphs, but I have cut them out. I have not included them, and that is indicated by the ellipses. So what is the meaning of ellipsis? Something from the original has been left out. Why? Maybe there is no space, or maybe it is irrelevant to the discussion, whatever may be. So that is the meaning of ellipsis. But let us come to the most important point. The most important point is how many dots should we use? Okay, now the rule is very simple. You can use only 3 dots, not 2, not 4, not 5, not 6. You can use only 3 dots with the space before and after every dot. Okay, you cannot use 4. You cannot use 5. Somebody may argue, I have left out 5 sentences, so can I use 5? Somebody can argue, I have left out only 2 sentences, so why should I use 3? Let me use 2. No, the rule is ellipsis is marked by 3 dots, and the rule continues. There should be a space before and after every dot. Now I'll make it a little more complicated. Now actually I should have used 4 dots, not 3 dots. Now some of you may get confused because only some 10 seconds ago I said you have to use 3 dots. Now why is this man telling us that we have to use 4 dots? Now what is the 4th dot? The 4th dot is a full stop or a period. The first 3 dots, they indicate the ellipsis, and the additional dot, the 4th dot, that indicates the end of the paragraph, the end of the sentence. Okay. So dear friends, now let me consolidate the rules. I'll give you 20 rules, and this is what you are going to learn from this webinar on developing writing skills. Okay, so how many rules? 20 rules. I'm sure you can take a screenshot. Okay, so 20 tips for writing better. Now, almost all these rules have been explained. Okay, now let me talk about the first rule. As I said earlier, when I began my presentation, whenever you deal with the title, where to use the capital letter, where to use the uppercase, and where to use the lowercase, now all strong words, you have to use the uppercase or capital letters. And for all weak words, what are the weak words? Articles, prepositions, and conjunctions. Okay, I have given you two examples. Teaching and learning in government and private schools. And is a weak word, the conjunction, therefore small a. In is a preposition, a weak word, therefore small I. And once again, a conjunction, a weak word, so therefore small case. Rules to be followed in the hostel. To, preposition, be, that is also a weak word. In the, both are weak words, so therefore the lower case. So hereafter you should not have any difficulty in writing the titles. Strong words, capital letters. Weak words, no capital letters. Point number 2. Please use gender sensitive language. Please use inclusive language. It is not he or she. It is not him or her. It is not himself or herself. And what about expressions? Don't use mankind, because women will object to it. We are excluded. So use humankind, which includes men and women. Don't say forefathers. What about mothers? Instead say ancestors. Don't say chairman. And sometimes it is ridiculous to use the word chairman when a woman is chairing the session. Okay, so instead use chairperson. So point 2 is use a gender sensitive language, inclusive language. Point 3, whenever you get the expression neither nor, and either or, not either or, people are confused what verb to use, whether to use the singular verb or the plural verb. Okay, now what is the rule? The subject closer to the verb will determine whether this verb has to be singular or plural. I have given you an example. Neither the students nor the teacher. So which subject is closer to the verb? Teacher. Teacher is singular, therefore is. Now I rewrite. Neither the teacher nor the students. Which subject is closer to the verb? Students. Students is plural. So therefore are. Okay, I'm sure you will not forget it. Now the fourth rule is a very simple rule. Both while speaking and while writing, use linking devices or discourse markers. Imagine I'm giving a speech. I will say I have 20 points to discuss. The first point, the fourth point, the seventh point, the 15th point, the penultimate point, the ultimate point. So when I give indications like this, okay, it is easy for the audience to follow me. So whether you're speaking or writing, use linking devices, and these linking devices are also called discourse markers. So I have discussed 4 rules. I'll discuss some more rules. Okay, now avoid circuitous or roundabout expressions. Now, many people are fond of roundabout expressions. What is the meaning of roundabout? Instead of saying students' performance, you say the performance of the students. Okay, you're wasting time, you're wasting words, you're wasting energy. Students' performance is simple, loud, and clear and direct. So, students' performance, why do you want to say the performance of the student? Why do you want to say the rules of the hostel? Say hostel rules. Okay, so direct expressions. Avoid roundabout or circuitous expressions. Okay, rule number 5. Avoid redundancy. I have given a lot of examples. Main focus, very unique, early beginnings, mutual cooperation, past history, unite together. A lot of people, when they send emails or SMS or WhatsApp, they say revert back. It is wrong. It is not revert back. It is revert. People say return back. No, it is return. End result, close scrutiny. It is not close scrutiny. It is scrutiny, because scrutiny itself includes a close and a minute examination. Okay, so avoid redundancy. Rule number 6, avoid expression each and every student, each and every hosteler, each and every staff member, each and every professor, each and every department. No, every student, every department, every professor. And the next rule we have already discussed, where there are only 2 references or 2 choices or 2 options, use one and the other. Do not use another. Here is an example. I have already talked about it. I have already discussed it. There are 2 solutions to this problem. 2 solutions, not 3, not 4, not 5. There are 2. Here is one, the other. Don't use another. Why? There are only two. So here is one, the other is his suggestion. Okay, so the expression one of the should be followed by a plural noun. One of the boys, one of the girls, one of the teachers, one of the departments, one of the general stores, one of the hospitals. Okay, now please take a look at this slide. Okay, something simple. Whenever you use as well as, along with, besides, together with, you are very often confused whether you have to use the singular or the plural. You have to use the singular. Here is an example. The landlord as well as the laborers has applied for a loan. Now, if in case you have a confusion, I will explain it in very simple terms. The landlord has applied for a loan. That's it. So the landlord is singular. Only one gentleman, one person. So therefore, we use has. Okay. And some people might argue, but what about laborers? Doesn't that make the subject plural? No. The main subject is the landlord has applied for a loan. Okay. So the landlord as well as the laborers, the landlord along with the laborers, the landlord together with the laborers. Still, we have to use has. Okay, next one, a very simple point. Okay, use British spelling. In India, officially, we use British spelling, not American spelling. Okay, so it is program, ME. Even though your laptop would suggest that it is a mistake because it is tuned to the American English, the American dictionary. But in India, we use British English. Okay, next one. Okay, whenever possible, use simple words and direct words. Okay, for instance, why do you want to use the word utilize when you have a simple word use? Why do you want to say, I went to the market and purchased a kilo of atta? Okay, you can use, I went to the market and bought. Okay. Why do you want to use the word remittance and commit a spelling mistake? Single T or double T, single M or double M, single N or double N. Use the word payment, okay? So always going for simple expressions. And the next one, avoid contractions in formal writing. Earlier explained what is meant by formal writing, serious writing, academic writing. So you cannot have contractions. Can't. You write cannot. Don't use haven't, hasn't, isn't. Use the full form. Similarly, don't use short forms and abbreviations such as exams. These are not allowed in academic writing. In formal writing, you can use them in informal writing. What is the meaning of informal writing? You're sending a WhatsApp message to your friend. You're sending an email message to your classmate. There you can use contractions and you can use abbreviations also. So please take a look at this. Many people are confused. Where to use on the one hand and on the other, and on the one hand and on the contrary. I'll explain it in very simple terms. When you talk about an argument and you want to present both sides of the argument, you use on the one hand and on the other. Okay, here is an example. On the one hand, they want to have kids, but on the other, they do not want to lose their freedom. Okay, so on the one hand, on the other. But look at the second example. He promised to conduct 2 programs, but on the contrary, not on the other hand, he has not conducted even one. So where do you use on the one hand, on the other? It is a single argument, but you want to present both sides of the argument. You use the expression on the one hand, on the other. But if it is a contradictory argument, if it is an antithetical argument, you do not use on the one hand and on the other. Instead, you use on the one hand and on the contrary. Okay, ellipsis. I talked about ellipsis. This is the spelling. Use only 3 dots. Don't use 4 dots. Don't use 5 dots. Don't use 6 dots. And not only that, use only 3 with a space before and after each dot or each period. And I have already clarified the meaning of ellipsis. Ellipsis means something has been left out. Maybe it is not wanted. Maybe it is not directly relevant to the argument. Okay. Now some more rules. Okay, you forget about the first rule. We are running short of time. Go to the next one. Some people are very fond of using expressions like this is an extremely important point. This is a very, very interesting point, particularly teachers. We want to emphasize, but what we do is we emphasize every other point. And then we use expressions like this is extremely important. This is very, very important. This is very, very interesting. This is highly crucial. This is very crucial. This is highly significant. No, please avoid these expressions. Important itself conveys the meaning. Interesting itself conveys the meaning. Crucial itself conveys the meaning. So there is no need to use adjectives. Okay. Now the last one, comma-splicers. Anyway, I don't have time to explain this. Now I have 2 more slides. I will quickly go through it. Okay. I'll give you some. Okay, please go to the last point. Okay, I'm running short of time, therefore I'm skipping the point. Okay, so this is the last point. Now, a lot of people have problem with this, so therefore I would like to throw some light on this. Now you have 3 points. Number 1, plurals. Number 2, possessives. And number 3, contractions. Now, CDs. You have 5 CDs. You have 6 CDs. How do you write? Now, what people do is they write C, capital C, D, capital D. They use an apostrophe and yes. This is wrong. This is an error. Okay, now look at this. The last line. MLAs. There are 5 MLAs. There are 10 MLAs. There are 15 MLAs. So you want to use the plural MLA. There is no apostrophe. I gave the example of CD. No, there is no apostrophe. Okay, so if you want to use the plural, MLA, yes. S indicates the plural. CD, yes. MP, yes. Okay. Now, what happens if you use an apostrophe? If you use an apostrophe, it becomes a possessive. MLA's car, MLA's vehicle, MLA's PA, MLA's wife, or MLA's husband. You write CD. If you use an apostrophe, then what is the CD's content? Okay, fine. So, dear friends, I have 2 more slides. But anyway, now there is no time. Let me stop with this. So, hereafter, I am sure even if you do not avoid every mistake that we have talked about, I am sure you will avoid the major mistakes, you will avoid the glaring mistakes, and I am sure you will write better. Wish you all the best. Hereafter, I am sure you will write better, at least marginally. Wish you all the best, and thank you to the organizers. I'm sorry, since this is a workshop, and since we have already exceeded the time, there is no discussion. In case you have some doubts, you can always send an email to me, josephdureiraj@gmail.com. Okay, so I'll give you my email ID. So you can always send me an email, and I am sure you will get a response, and I will clarify your doubts. So this is my email ID, josephdureiraj@gmail.com. So thank you, Milagros College. Thank you, Professor Luthsamy. Thank you, Professor Naina, and thank you, Professor Denzil. And most importantly, I would like to thank your principal, Reverend Father Moses Anthony, for this wonderful platform to interact with a lot of people from a lot of states across the country. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I have 2 more slides, but anyway, I didn't have the time to talk about the 2 slides.
Okay, there was a message on the mobile, sir. Could you share the PPT you're asking for? What do I do, sir? Shall I go ahead with your permission?
Beg your pardon?
The presentation that you had, some of them are asking for it. PPT what you showed just now throughout the session. Some of them wanted us to share it with them, send it to them.
No problem.
So, okay, sir. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay.
Knowledge is to be shared. I believe in that.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Fine.
Yes, I thank Professor Doreraj. It was really a genuine learning session for all of us. I hope all my participants will agree. And I thank all the participants who have taken interest, and the chat box responses show us that you were interested in this session. I thank our principal, Father Michael Santamayer, our adjunct faculty, Professor Lourdes Swami, who was an inspiration to have this national webinar, my QC coordinator, and the entire team of Milagros. Thank you, one and all. The participants kindly note the feedback form will be posted on your chat box. Only 4 hours it will be there available. Kindly fill up so that we can proceed with the certificates. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, dear participants. Nice meeting you. Please go through my PPT, and I am sure I have left out 2 slides. Please take a look at those 2 slides also, and in case you have any queries, you get back to me on my email ID. Thank you and wish you all the best. Bye. Thank you, Professor Lursami.
And
He did repeat, sir.
hello, Joe.
Thank you.
I was taking notes, you know that.
Oh my goodness.
It was good. The feedback was very wonderful. Everybody seems to be impressed, and they were even before you could give the correction, they were giving the correction for the passage.
Very good. Very good.
It was good. Around 700 people participated. Around 700.
Okay, that's a good number.
Yeah.
சில பேரு என்கிட்ட லிங்க் வரலன்னு சொல்லியிருந்தாங்க.
Because they don't know how to link. It is there. They could, and they themselves give the answers.
No, what I'm saying is a few people like Magdalene. He registered, but she did not receive the link. And some more students.
Session here. I think so, sir will call you. Okay, sir.
Okay, now shall we wind up?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, sir.